Thank you so much for your patience. I mean, this is the time that we are in collation of results. Your candidate and your party have called for it to be cancelled. In fact, the entire process, the entire election to be cancelled. There have been responses by the governing party saying, that's illegal. And I mean, what do you have to say?
Right. Thank you guys for getting me out of
your comfort zone.
Post-election hibernation. I've been in hibernation. Charles got me out. Yeah. So, fellow Nigerians, the INEC is sitting on an illegality. It has violated Section 38 of the Electoral Code. And it's based on that illegality that we are working. It said, if you read it, Section 38 says, the presiding officer after an election shall. I'm not a lawyer, but when you hear lawyers say shall, that is a mandatory statutory responsibility. It's not me, shall. So, INEC violated that. And is continuing with this illegality and expecting Nigerians, well, we have violated the law. Well, if you are not happy with that, go to court. It's just like you catch a thief. He says, oh no, let me go and take the stuff I stole home before you take me to court. So the basic premise of all these things, the impunity is an illegality. Outrightly from the beginning. So what gives any government, anywhere in the world, in a democracy, what gives it legitimacy is clean, free, fair, and credible election. If that election is contested anywhere in the world, the credibility of that government is called to question.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. So please be patient and stay with us because we want to hear the rest of what you have to say. And you're watching a special program looking at the developments around Nigeria's 2023 presidential election. We've been live at the National Collation Center, where they've been reeling out all the figures of the presidential elections and state by state.
Yes.
We've heard, I mean, there have been quite a slew of them. Niger, Benue, Federal Capital Territory, Akwa Ibom, Edo, Abia, Kogi, Bauchi, Plateau, Kano, Kebbi, Zamfara, Sokoto.
15 states in all today. That was way better than we saw yesterday.
Absolutely.
And
well, they've taken a 2-hour
break.
Yeah, which is quite extensive. But we're going to go through periodically what the winning figures are. But in terms of the last four, I think the NNPP took Kano. Kebbi State was won by the PDP.
Yes.
Zamfara was won by the APC, and Sokoto was also won by the PDP.
Indeed. Very correct, Charles. Well done.
Well, we've got someone who knows about these things who's with us, although I expect he's more concerned about talking about other things. Professor Usman Yusuf. Yusuf Usman is here with us. And Prof, we interrupted you, which I apologize. We were talking about the developments around this election and the fact that some of your your colleagues had decided that they were going to oppose the results, and in fact the PDP, working with the Labour Party, had said that they want the results cancelled. I'm curious to know whether this is just part of, because it's almost a sine qua non for opposition parties to say this. I mean, it's expected usually at the end of every election that they're going to say that they reject the results. I mean, this time, obviously, you and Labour, PDP and Labour, complaining bitterly. How legitimate are those complaints? Because, I mean, they seem to have a lot of public support in this instance.
No, it's, the one I know is very legitimate. I'm not talking abstract. I was in Kazana through the election period. So it's something we saw. People have their papers at the polling station and the numbers. These things have not been uploaded. And you see a different result called out there.
Yeah, but the problem is that the people are saying that you're not presenting that evidence to INEC.
No, no. What is anybody in Nigeria, is INEC talking about beavers now? In all the things they're talking about at that collation center, have you heard anything about beavers? There was a lady that questioned the person from Kano. If we've had beavers, we wouldn't have had this. Oh, what's the number? We're still analog. We refuse to upload all results from polling stations as the law stipulates.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that,
No.
I mean, I know she's going to come with a question in a minute, but...
Charles, this is fundamental. You don't do the right thing. You violated the law. You did not upload it for everybody to see. And then you bring papers. Oh, let's talk. Oh, Kano. Oh, Katsina. Oh, this. We are still analog, worse than we were 2015. This election is a lot more confused than we had in 2015. And they were selling, the chairman of INEC overpromised and delivered little. Mm. We've seen clips of him saying, no, it will be uploaded from the polling station. No. Polling station is what everybody has. Uploaded from there as the law stipulated. They refused to do that. And they're saying, if you have a problem, challenge our illegality.
Yeah, but did they refuse to do it, or were they imperiled by the situation?
Good. Imperiled. You can be imperiled if you don't want to. This is the most important day and time in this country. Someone was telling me last Saturday was a Saturday that there were no marriages in the north, because Saturdays are the days. That's how important it is for our people. And you didn't think it is important enough for you, INEC, and the federal government to provide all that is needed to upload the result? No, we don't believe that. We don't.
But if the result is not transmitted, yet your agents across the country have them, does it change anything?
It does, because the foundation, the basis, and illegality has already been committed. And INEC know that. They know that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The person at the poll, if he doesn't know, INEC knows that. It says shall. And you did not do that. And we're not talking about beavers anywhere. We're not talking about uploaded result. No result should be announced unless that is uploaded.
So as it stands, your party is not a part to what's going on. You have already concluded that, this whole election should be cancelled. So does that position still remain to say you are not a part of this election at all? So irrespective of who emerges or who is declared, you're not interested?
No, and I'm not speaking for the party, right? We have been part of this election, and that's why we are protesting in real time. Not after the election, after the event. What the other party wants us to do is allow them to continue this illegality and let their candidate be declared and let us challenge it in court.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
Yeah, but you're not going to stop them. I mean, we're carrying live right now
but
the results being announced.
It's being announced, but we are raising our voices and telling the world that all this is going to be null and void. It's going to be null and void because the foundation was an illegality. Right thing was not done.
Right.
And it is now early enough for them to correct that which is wrong. But if they continue with this stubbornness, we don't know. We are talking, I personally am looking at the national security implications of all of this. Not just this guy winning Zamfara, all this. No, do it right. This election, there's a lot more at stake in this election than any of the other elections.
What do you mean by the national implication of this?
National security.
National security implication of this.
National security.
What do you mean by that?
We need to be very careful. People have been patient and prayerful over the last 8 years that this government, APC, has put us through. And people have been patient. And this was their time to go and cast their vote. Their vote must count. And what we are seeing is that their vote is not being counted. We don't know what's going to happen. We continue to tell our people to be patient and prayerful. The federal government, the INEC, and national security agencies must be very careful and consider the national security implications of our people being deprived of their constitutional right as such. And we're here raising our voices. The votes of our people must count.
Right. Now, former President Obasanjo has called on the President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene. Do you think he should, or do you believe that his intervention will compromise the same legal principle that you're talking about, compromise the independence of INEC?
He is the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Everything stops at his desk. The legacy he wants to leave for this country is a free, fair, and credible election, not this mess we're seeing. He's tried to plug the holes of these thieves that had money to buy votes. He didn't know they had other plans.
When you say, sorry,
go ahead.
When you say the voice or the votes of the people are being stolen, can you just give us examples? For instance, what states, you are really referring to? Are you saying across the Federation, the people's voices are not being heard?
Right. So we're talking about free, fair, credible election. Mm-hmm. There are places where the government, where the APC government holds rules that people are intimidated, they didn't go out to vote. Right? There were ballot boxes that were stolen. There was violence, people were being killed. People were killed. There were places where essentially beavers were being used. We saw that there.
And the votes are cancelled in such areas. That's why we have cancelled votes.
Right. So you cancel the vote, so you cancel their right to vote.
They are refusing to use beavers.
No, that's what they are telling us. That's what they are telling us. We are here protecting our people. In many places, they don't even know what the beavers are, how to use them. It is our duty and responsibility to help our people, guide our people to exercise their franchise that comes only every 4 years. And here we are, blasé, people giving them Indomie and the INEC, the umpire.
Right.
We have lost faith in the umpire.
We've got about, well, you're talking about the umpire. We've got about a minute and a half left. I know you've got to run, and we appreciate your being here. But is there an argument to say that part of the problem is the culture within INEC and the persistence of that culture in elections past and present in Nigeria?
What culture? Do you mean culture of doing the right thing? Culture of
the culture of that has allowed these sort of a culture of alleged incompetence, a culture of perhaps, I don't know, inducements.
Absolutely.
I mean, as some have suggested.
There is no doubt about it. There's corruption. No doubt at all. We see that in clips. Corruption, incompetence. What are you going to describe this charade you call this 2023 election? This is incompetence where the chairman has been singing at the top of his voice, the beavers, beavers, beavers. We have many clips. And here we are. Where are you, Mr. Chairman? Results have not been uploaded as the law stipulated, and you're still not talking about them. And this is where we are today. Look at this. This is charade, this is a mess. And fellow Nigerians, this result will not count. We will not accept this result. The right thing needs to be done. The earlier this is cleaned up, the better. This is not the legacy Mr. President wants to leave for this country. We need to be very careful. The stakes are very high. National security implications must be seriously considered. We are telling our people to be patient and prayerful. The right thing will come, and our candidate will win this election. I have no doubt about that. They can do all the rigging they want. Thank you very much.
Prof, thank you very much indeed. Professor Usman Yusuf is a public policy expert and supporter of Atiku Abubakar and the PD.